Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and welcome to the Academy channel. So this is the fifth session on the core Java interview question and answer series. And in my previous lecture or the session, I have discussed on the OPS concept topics, and there we have discussed the important questions you may get in the interview with the OPS concept. So today in this session, we are going to discuss one of the important pillar of the OPS concept, that is encapsulation. And this session will be fully dedicated to the encapsulation. And also we will discuss the various type of questions which you may get in the interview for this topic encapsulation. So before starting the lecture, I will suggest you to watch the lecture till the end, and also subscribe the Xadmin channel to get notified whenever a new lecture is uploaded, and also hit the like button. So let's start our session. So the next question which you may get is what do you understand by encapsulation, right? So here you can see that this is the 22nd question I'm discussing in the core Java series. And yeah, and if you want to view or to check the other questions, then I will suggest you to watch my previous session on this series. So the next question which you may get, what do you understand by encapsulation? So this is the important question which you may get if the interviewer is interested to ask the question in this topic of the OPS. So surely he may ask you that what is encapsulation, or what do you understand by encapsulation? So you have to reply this in a very brief manner, and in a point to point manner. That So let us start our discussion. So encapsulation is a mechanism of wrapping the data in a single unit. So what do you mean by wrapping the data? So wrapping the data means we are keeping the variables and a method in a single unit. So as in a class, we know that we have a member variables, and also we have the methods. So we are wrapping that variables and a method in a class. So that mechanism or that functionality is known as encapsulation. So we achieve this wrapping, so that we are keeping we are making a class, and in that we are defining a variable and a method. So that is known as encapsulation, right? So encapsulation is a process of defining properties and operation for a entity. So in a class, we define some properties, some member variables, and also we define the method. So in the method, we define the operations or the job that we want to do. So that we define in a method, right? In a class. So that is encapsulation, and that is declaring or defining a member of a class with the visibility labels and with proper access modifier. And in a class, when we create the variables there, we define proper visibility labels or access modifier, right? So that is known as encapsulation. So the encapsulation, so the access modifier can be private also, it can be public also, for a variable in a class. But the main things encapsulation say, that in a class we are wrapping the data, the variable and a method we are writing inside a single class. So that concept is known as encapsulation. And also we define the variables and the methods with a proper access modifier. So that is known as encapsulation. So here you can see, for example, for your better understanding, I have given one example. Like there is a class with the name hello, and here this will be a member variable of age, and the return type, I will say it is int. And yeah, so this is the type integer, and this is our private. So here I have used access modifier as private. So I have made this age member as a private, and to access this, here I have used getter method, and also to set the variable or to change the value of this age variable. Here we are using setter method. So this whole concept is known as encapsulation, right? So here we're declaring a variable and a method in a single unit is known as encapsulation. So encapsulation is wrapping this data in a single unit. And here we have used private. So this make this as a data hiding, right? So declaring a private member inside the class is called as data hiding or encapsulation. So here private is used with a variable age, so it cannot be accessed outside the world directly. So for that we have used the getter method to access this variable, and also we have used the setter method if we want to set the value, right? So this age will not be accessed by the other user directly from outside this hello class. So this we have achieved by making this variable as a private. So this is data hiding. So we are hiding this age from the outer world, right? So this is data hiding. So this is all about encapsulation. So we have to differ. So you have to say in the same manner. You have to define, give the definition of this and what you understand by encapsulation, and how, and also you have to like define or tell some like example, so how we can achieve this encapsulation, right? So let's see the next question, that how to achieve encapsulation. So this will can be the one of the important question, how to achieve encapsulation. So encapsulation can be achieved by declaring all the variables in a class as a private and writing a public method in a class to set and get the values of a variable. So this is like setter and the getter method. So as in the example you have seen that here we are making this variable as a private and also using the getter and the setter method to get and to set these like variable value, right? So this is all about how we can achieve the encapsulation. Now let's see the next question, that why encapsulation, or what is the advantage of the encapsulation. So basically encapsulation helps to keep the field and the methods together. So with the help of the encapsulation, we can wrap these variables and a method in a single unit in a class, right? So this tells the encapsulation helps to keep field and the method together, which make our code cleaner and easy to read. So this make our code cleaner and easy to read. So this make our code like more like readable and also more clear. So that's why the encapsulation is used, and the encapsulation helps. So this is the first point, that why encapsulation can be used. Now the second point is very important point, that it helps to control the values of our data field. As here in the example you can see, I have given one example with the class human, and here we have declared one member variable with the name weight. So weight so here and also I have used the setter method to set the value or to change the value of the weight of a human. So here you can see that inside the setter method, I have put some check or the condition that if this weight is greater than 0, then only it is going to set the value. So here we are controlling the value, means how we can set the value of this member variable, right? So this can be achieved through the encapsulation. So here inside the setter method, we can put the check. So here you can see we are making the weight variable private and applying the logic inside the set weight method. Now the set weight cannot be negative. So here if someone pass this weight as a negative, it will not set this weight with a negative value because we have put a check here. It means that we are controlling the value of our data field, right? So this is the second point, that why the encapsulation can be helpful. So the second point says it helps to control the values of our data field. So now let's move to the third point, that so with the getter method provides read only and the setter method provide write only access to our class field. So what this mean? This mean that we can distinguish, or we can make separate like read only access and also a write only access. So with the getter method we can provide a read only access, and with the setter method we can provide write only access. So these access can be separated by using the encapsulation or by adding the getter and the setter method. So this is the third point and the advantage of using the encapsulation. So the fourth point is that this make our component or the application as a decouple. So decoupled means it can be deployed, tested, debugged independently, right? It cannot be like dependent on the other things. And any changes in the particular component will also not affect the other component. So this is also can be achieved by encapsulation. So encapsulation provide decoupled, right? So this is the fourth point for using the encapsulation. Now let's see the fifth point, that we can achieve data hiding through the encapsulation. It means that if we want to hide the data from the outer world, then we can achieve this by the encapsulation, by making our like member variable or a data field as a private, and only providing the public like getter and the setter method to achieve this. And also we can provide the a check inside the setter method and the getter method, that the no one can achieve other than the authorized person, right? So the next point brings that it provides security, as direct access to the member variables of a class is restricted, right? So as we discussed that the directly we cannot access from the outer world or the outer class. So it provide a security, a kind of security, right? Because the direct access is restricted. So these are the some point uh, which tells that why the encapsulation is useful and what are the advantages of encapsulation. So now let's move to the second, the other question, that is what is data hiding. So this can be also the important question, that what is data hiding. So actually data hiding is a way of restricting the access of our data members by hiding the implementation detail. So encapsulation also provide a way of data hiding. So data hiding, as the name tells, that it is used for hiding the data from anyone, right? So it will restrict the access of our data members from outside the class by using the encapsulation, by making the private as a variable, and also we can assign the getter and the setter method for accessing them, right? So the data hiding is way of restricting the access of our data members. So the second point says that the user will have no idea about the inner implementation of the class. So with the data hiding, so the user will have no idea that how the implementation of this method is done, or like what is the inner implementation. Actually it will not be visible to the user how the class is storing the value in the variable. The user will only know that what we are passing the value to a setter method to set or to get the value, right? So inner implementation will be totally will be hidden to the user. So this is the one point of data hiding. So with the data hiding we can achieve this. We can hide the inner implementation from the user, and he will only know that what value he have to pass for setting the value, right? So we can also get we can use access modifier to achieve this data hiding. So how the data hiding can be achieved? By using access modifier. So for that we have to make our variable as a private, and using the private access modifier allows us to restrict unauthorized access from outside the class. So this is data hiding, right? So this is all about the data hiding topic. So now let's move to the next question, like data hiding versus encapsulation. So this can be also the question in the interview, and the interviewer want to check that do you know exactly the difference between the data hiding and the encapsulation. Because for a fresher this can be seen a very confusing topic, that what is data hiding and what is encapsulation. So what the data hiding do and what the encapsulation do, right? So here I have written some points for you. So let's start. So data hiding can be considered as the main task. So for the data hiding can be considered as a main task, right? But to achieve data hiding we can use encapsulation. So encapsulation is a sub process of data hiding, right? So if we want to hide the data, then we can achieve by the encapsulation. So this is the first point. And the access modifier is always private for the data hiding. If we want to hide the data, then for that we have to use private as an access modifier. And also if we want to achieve encapsulation, then it is not restricted that we have to use private only. We can use public also in our variable, and private also. So this will be the encapsulation. The main encapsulation is about, so in the next point we will see that data hiding is about hiding the method implementation, as we have discussed earlier, that it will hide the inner implementation from the user. So data hiding is about hiding the method implementation, but encapsulation is about combining method with a data member. So the main motto of the data hiding is to hide the data and its implementation. But the main motto of the encapsulation is to combine or to wrap a data and their methods into a single unit. So basically the encapsulation is not used for the data hiding purpose. But although we can achieve the data hiding through the encapsulation, but the main motto of the encapsulation is to combine the data and their methods into a single unit. So but the data hiding can be achieved. So the main motto of data hiding is to hide, and to hide the data and its implementation, right? So these are the some points for data hiding versus encapsulation. Now let's move to the next question, that abstraction versus encapsulation. So this is also the one of the confusion topic or misunderstand, that encapsulation is misunderstand with abstraction. So here now, so although I have like in the next lectures or the sessions, I will discuss regarding the abstraction, and also the interview questions which can be asked under this abstraction topic. But for now I will like differentiate these two topic a very briefly manner, right? So that you can answer this in the interview. So encapsulation is more about how to achieve a functionality. So encapsulation tells that how we can achieve or how we can do this task, right? So how we can achieve this functionality or how we can achieve this task. So it totally tells about how, like how we can do. But the abstractions is more about what a class can do, so what a functionality can do, right? So this is the main difference between, or the motto of these two pillar of the oops concept. So these are the two important pillars of the OOPS concept, the encapsulation and the abstraction. So you have to remember that encapsulation funda, or the encapsulation goal or the motto, is to how to achieve any functionality. But the abstraction motto is to what a class can do, or a what any functionality can do, right? So this is all about abstraction. So yeah, so I hope this is like clear to you. So now let's move to the next question, that can we achieve abstraction without encapsulation in Java? Yes, we can achieve, because abstraction is achieved by abstract class and an interface, right? But encapsulation is achieved by access modifier, like private, protected, and public, right? So encapsulation is achieved by access modifier, and the abstraction is achieved by abstract class and the interfaces. So these are both different topic, right? So yeah, so we can implement abstraction using abstract class and interfaces, and encapsulation can be implemented using access modifier, that is private, protected, and public, right? So now let's move to the next topic, that is what are getter and setter methods in Java. So this is a very basic questions, that what is getter and the setter method. So setter method is a method that is used for updating the values of a variable. This method is known as a mutative method, right? So setter method basically is used to update the value of a member variable or a data type of a class. And the getter method is to fetch or to retrieve the value of a variable, so it returns the value of the private member variable. So let's say that we are making a private like member variable in a class, so we are restricting the access from the outside class. But how we can achieve this, how we can access the variable? So for that we have to define a public getter method. So this is all about a getter method. So getter method is used to retrieve the value of a variable. So this method is also known as accessor method, right? So let's see the next question, that does reflection like violates encapsulation in Java? So reflection is a different topic and the encapsulation is a different topic. So reflection, so yeah, so for your information, I will define reflection. So reflection is a package in the Java where with the help of reflection, like reflections gives the information about the class to which an object belongs and also the method of that class. So reflection gives us the information about a class, means we can get the information of a class or the name of a class by knowing the object of that class. So let's say that we have an object of any class, but we don't have any information of a class, that what is the name of that class, right? And what are the methods are there in that class, but only we have an object. So, and we want to get the information of that class, then how we can achieve this? We can achieve this through the reflection package in Java. So reflection is a class there. So with that reflection class, we can get the information of a class and also the and also the underlying methods of that class by knowing by only knowing the object, right? So this is all about reflection. So reflection violates encapsulation because it reveals the internal data structure. So reflection violates. So here the answer will be yes, the reflection violates encapsulation because it reveals the internal data structure. So reflection reveals that what is the name of a class and like what are the methods are available in that class, right? But encapsulation is like more about hiding the data implementation to the user, right? These are both are like different topic. So reflection is not about hiding, but encapsulation is more about hiding the inner implementation. So encapsulation want to give a module a safe space, and the reflection wants to break into all codes. Thus, the manipulation of the data is done at one place, unknowing to other member of a variable. So encapsulation principles are broken using reflection. So if so, how we can break the principle of the encapsulation by using a reflection? We can break the principles of the encapsulation in Java, right? By using, so it can be access the private classes without setting and getter method. So let's say that someone want to access the private like variables, by not using the setter and the getter method. So how we can achieve this? We can achieve this by the reflection package or the reflection class, right? So reflection can be used to get information. So let's see some like methods of a reflection. So how we can get the class information if we have only object information? So we can get so we have one method, get class. So this method is used to get the name of a class to which an object belongs, right? And also we have a get construction method, and it is used to get the public constructor of a class to which an object belongs. And if we want to get the methods of that class, then we have a get method in a reflection that is used for getting the information of a public method inside a class, right? So reflection is basically a class or a package in our like Java, which give us the information of a method or a constructor or a class information by only knowing the object of that class. So it does not require any information of the method, class, and the constructor. If we have the only information of a object, then we can get the information of these three: class, methods, and constructor by the use of the reflection topic, right? So does reflection violates encapsulation in Java? Yes, encapsulation can be violated through the reflection. So this can be a tricky question for you, that how we can violate the encapsulation. So in that you have to reply with with the use of the reflection, and also you have to define that how reflection that what is the use of the reflection, and also and also you have to define about the encapsulation, right? So I hope this topic is clear to you. Yeah. So this is all about the session. Uh, so here we have discussed some of the important and the tricky questions which you can get about the encapsulation topic in the core Java interview. So thank you. So in the next lecture, we are going to see deep like the other questions which may get in the topic of abstraction and the polymorphism, right? And also in the inheritance, like one by one. So see you in the next lecture.